Welcome to the Need to Heat podcast with Jake Lynch
and Fernando Davila.
Today's episode is called Appreciation and Summation, and essentially what we're going to be doing today is, for those of you that weren't able to make our first ever online summit, we're basically just going to kind of tell you what happened that day, and also do a lot of thanks to the people that were able to show up and practice a little bit of that gratitude that we taught the people that did show up on that summit. Gratitude towards the fact that we were able to do it online, even with all the extenuating circumstances happening today with the virus and the overall pandemic. Right, Fernando?
Of course, and even on top of that pandemic, that weekend, a hurricane was coming our way, but luckily and thankfully, everything went very smooth. There was no technical difficulties, and it was just an overall great experience for that summit.
I completely agree. We were able to get plenty of influential people into our summit as well. So beginning the summary of what happened, yours truly got to introduce what we were going to be doing throughout that day. What they call me the schmoozer, right? And so essentially what I did is I introduced everybody right beforehand, talked for about 15 minutes, took some questions in. A lot of them were about us as an organization, and if you guys have been listening to the podcast since day one, you know a lot of the answers, right? So how we got into mindfulness, how we started as an organization. And from there, we also went into a couple of master classes. Fernando can talk to you about the first one we did.
So the first master class we had was with Miss Vismaya, who gave a great presentation, who we truly appreciate a lot because she led off that summit great. Everyone was very intrigued inside of that master class, and it was overall a great experience. She was great with talking with everyone, explaining very different grounding, talked about all of her experiences in life, how she got into mindfulness and how she practices mindfulness, and gave information on how we can practice mindfulness and stuff that I didn't even know, as well as other board members that we didn't even know of techniques that she uses to practice mindfulness. And it was very overall great. So we thanked Miss Vismaya a lot. And Jade is going to talk to you guys about the physical mindfulness aspect.
Yeah, so right after Miss Vismaya, Ruben kicked us off with her little keynote masterclass speech and her whole spiel. Essentially, we got into our physical mindfulness masterclass with a couple of D1 athletes. It was very exciting to see how in-depth these athletes wanted to get with Jonathan and Alexa about what they do on game days, how they keep themselves out of stress. Very good points from Callie, Caleb, Gia, and Derek. And we're super excited to have them as a part of the organization from now on. Hopefully they can keep in touch, tell us how the stuff they got to learn on the day of will help them going forward. Just truly impressive to see that these people that are going so far in what they want to do, and with all of that talent, even they get stressed, even they need the teachings of mindfulness. They need what we have to offer over at Mindful Me. And we're just super excited for that aspect. A part of that masterclass was we taught what we consider a body scan. And essentially what that body scan does is you yourself are able to become one and more in tune with your own body. You can start at your feet, you start at your toes, and you essentially use breathing at every part of your body, going from your toe to your shin, to your calves, to your knee, to your quads and thighs, up into your waist, up into your abdomen, and then chest. Then you can start with your fingers, going up your forearm, into your bicep, your tricep, and your shoulders, and then ending with your neck and your head. And essentially what you do is you breathe into every part of your body to check for discomfort, check for if something is essentially feeling off, or check what's feeling good. So we explained a lot of that to the athletes and checking whether those athletes use this technique, checking whether those athletes will be using that technique. And it was very interesting to see that they are often checking their bodies because injury risk these days and such high-level athletics are very common. So mindfulness is a very important part of mastering your own body and staying in tune with yourself. And now Fernando will tell you about our last masterclass, which was taught by ours truly, Dan, Thomas, and Sierra, about grounding and mindful breathing.
Thank you, Jake. So yeah, our last masterclass was taught by Dan, Sierra, and Thomas, and it was truly amazing. It was great to see how all three of them have three complete different ways of dealing with mindfulness and different techniques that they practice. We saw a great one by Sierra, the countdown method that I didn't know about before this summit, which worked great. I've actually been doing it since, and I truly do like it. Dan also went through and did a mindful breathing exercise and meditation during the summit, which was great. I was really into it. It was difficult being in separate places and having to do it virtually. However, if you really put your mind to it, I did, and even through the computer screen and through the computer's audio, it truly does help and work. So it was great to see how they influence each other and how they do different ways of mindfulness. But yeah, Thomas, Dan, and Sierra did a great job teaching mindfulness and their meditation skills, their grounding exercises, and I think it was great for anyone that was in the summit to learn these new mechanisms and methods to be able to do this on a day-to-day basis like they do and like we do at Mindful Me, because it truly does help you have a healthier mind in general. It keeps you calm, keeps you away from stress, and it just helps a lot. And our summit finally ended with a panel discussion that Jake is going to describe for you guys and tell you all about. It was a great panel discussion. I was part of it. Jake was part of it. The whole board of Mindful Me was, along with some very special guests that we're very thankful for. So here you go, Jake.
Yeah, so some of those special guests that Fernando was telling you about would include Miss Jenna Moniz, who is a part of the Broward County School District, as well as Dr. Gibson Alonzo and Miss Heather Brinkworth, who are all very instrumental of getting mindfulness started in our Broward County Public Schools District. And then we also had a social media influencer in Miss Skylar Haynes, who's very popular on the TikTok. And we're excited because those people were able to take in so many different perspectives, us as people trying to make a change from the bottom up, and these people making changes from the top down. So it was interesting to see how these two aspects and perspectives met in the middle, and really very excited to see how the district is trying to implement all of the stuff that we feel is instrumental in helping kids with stress, also offering the choice, really, which is what we want. And we had a wonderful discussion as well about simplifying the discussion, as well as making the discussion a regular thing for people in terms of talking about mindfulness and kind of getting rid of that stigma that most of these terms hold when it comes to things like meditation, yoga, and really offering this technique and this plethora of knowledge that everybody can utilize. We also made a point to mention that these things can be fun. These things are for everyone. They are powered by yourself. So your attitude directly impacts how it affects you, how do you take in that information, how you go about your own time and how you spend your own time. So we made